Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. Before we start the podcast, let me plug a few things. We are sponsored by none other than Thompson's Tea. They make punjana. They've been making tea in Northern Ireland since the late 1800s, since Pussy was a kitten. And they love it. They love it. We love it. It's Northern Ireland's #1 selling tea, made right here in Belfast. A lot of people think punjana's from somewhere far afield, somewhere exotic, somewhere fancy. It isn't. It's here. It's not somewhere luxurious. It's not made in, Crete. I'm struggling. Julian, I know I haven't introduced you yet, but tell me like a lovely faraway exotic place.
Somewhere like Dar es Salaam or something like that.
Dar es Salaam. It's
Dar.
Pardon?
Dar es Salaam.
Dar es Salaam. It's not made in Dar es Salaam. It's not made where Julian said.
Assam.
Assam.
Yes. I'm only saying that because I saw a documentary a couple of days ago, and that was they were picking tea in Assam.
Right, but Dan's saying they do. I know, yes, they do get their tea in places like that. But what I mean is, it's a Belfast company. So they're from here, but they don't get me wrong, they're not getting their tea from Belfast. Like, it's not sourced in like Craigie or Gilnahook or anywhere, or the Shankill. It's got in exotic places,
Picking
but they're
tea
from
in the
here.
Hollywood Hills. No.
That sounds like a Netflix series with you I'd really like to see.
Yeah, well.
But just keep drinking it. They sponsor the podcast. We drink it on the podcast. If you were at the live podcast we did in the Limelight, we have a stand for tea because that's a level of listener we have. Young people on a night out looking to have a few drinks, but mainly tea based. So thank you very much to them for sponsoring the podcast. I'm drinking Signature Blend at the minute, but that's just the kind of guy I am. We're also sponsored by Manscaped. Now, Manscaped are a product that we use in the podcast, but it's not often. I guess we'll tell you just for the podcast. They have recently acquired some Manscaped products, and then I said to the guest, "Can we talk about that on the podcast?"
Well, the last time I
yes.
was here, you were plugging the
Careful.
thing. Yes. And I then thought, right enough, that is good because I did have clippers, but they were not as good as that. So I went and bought one, and
Look
my
at this.
pubes are impeccable at the moment. Absolutely impeccable. As they say in some parts of Belfast, you could eat your dinner off them. So impeccable pubes. It's good to be like that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I think me and the listeners would have expected nothing less. You're a well-groomed man. But, Julian, the big question is, did you use our discount code? I don't think you did.
No, I didn't.
For fuck's sake, Julian.
No.
You could have got yourself 20% off.
I forgot about that, but I ordered them online. Yeah. And they were delivered to me. I don't think there was any code given.
We give the code Tea With Me 20% off and free shipping. Plus, you shouldn't be paying for anything.
Oh, don't be daft.
You should be given thing. You're royalty. But Tea With Me, people don't know. I mean, you've sold it more than I can. You just go Tea With Me 20% off free shipping. Men's below the belt grooming. And speaking of belts, your belt, your blazer. This is peak Julian.
What? Oh.
What you're wearing right now.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is
you're
a
very
phenomenal ensemble. Last time you were on the podcast,
I was like a bag of the proverbial.
Well, I'm not. No, I see. Here's the thing. You dressed down is me dressed up, if that makes sense. Because you came on last time. You didn't know we were filming, but you were still wearing like a very nice, probably expensive shirt.
I'd got out of bed, had a shower, pulled a pair of underpants on, a pair of trousers and a shirt, and come down thinking I was going to be sitting here having a yarn with you, and it was just like a radio broadcast.
Yeah.
And then I said to you halfway, "What are these?" Because you see, they're phenomenal cameras. These cameras.
Yes.
I've got used to them now because they use cameras like that when they're filming me doing adverts.
Right.
Because I'm so used to the great big bruisers on people's shoulders, But these are brilliant. But of course, ignorance. Of course, I didn't realize. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that they were actually filming that day because I was sitting and I said, "What are those for?"
But you on an off day, like I can never. Like, would you ever break out a tracksuit or anything? Like, will we ever see Julian like an old school Adidas tracksuit, pair of Air Max?
Well,
on?
not an old school Adidas. I've got shell suits, but I do wear those at home, and I wear them when I'm on long flights. Before we take off, I change out of my clothes and put a shell suit on, and so I can relax. If it's a 10-hour flight,
Yeah, but you won't show up to the airport in the tracksuit.
oh God no. God, no. You see, well, also, 90% of the time I'm on staff travel tickets, so you're not allowed to turn up all shoddy. You've got to be dressed like a Burton dummy because, you know, on space available tickets, 9 times out of 10, you're going to finish up in first or club.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know, so you've got to be dressed. Mind you get into club yourself, and people are in cut-off jeans and everything, and you're thinking, I'm sitting here like a bird. That's why I go to the washroom before it lifts off the ground and put my shell suit on and hang my suit all up in the wardrobe. And so about an hour and a half before landing, I change back into that. So I get off the aircraft and I'm looking more or less spick or span.
You're acting like you're hosting the Brit Awards and you're just getting a flight. Why are you doing outfit changes? Then you travel back in to the suit. So you show up in the airport
I
in
put the
suit
suit on half an hour before landing. An hour and a half before landing. I take my shell suit off, put the suit on, and then when I get on the aircraft leaving London, I get on, take all my clothes off, put them in the wardrobe, and I put my shell suit on. So you can relax, and if you spill something all down the front of it, it doesn't matter.
Now, the shell suit, are we talking a matching shell suit?
Well, navy or black.
What brand?
I think I've had Adidas.
Love that.
And I did have at one stage, although I got it in Hong Kong, a Prada shell suit.
I can see you.
Yes.
I knew that's what I was digging for. If you're going to wear a tracksuit, it's going to be Prada, it's going to be Balenciaga, it's going to be something.
Well, you see,
extra.
in the airline industry, we all got used to labels and stuff. They're, of course, maybe I shouldn't be saying this on air.
Whatever it is, you should.
But they're sort of not the real McCoy. They're copies.
Julian.
Or off the back of a lorry. We used to get stuff from Shanghai that was off the back of a lorry. I've Prada bags from Shanghai that are the real McCoy, but they're off the back of a lorry.
Yeah, look, you're preaching to the choir here in this part of the world.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's all right.
Julian, I remember there was a guy who used to come around our doors selling like any CD you wanted, any album. He was getting it before it had been like released.
That's brilliant.
He was like, and I remember, I'm pretty sure, I might have got this wrong, I remember ordering a Nelly album off him, and he didn't have all the tracks, and I'm nearly sure he sang one of them himself. I'm nearly sure the guy just got his phone out, and I don't know what he did, but I think he did Hot In Here just a cappella himself. But yeah, we love stuff that like falls off the back of a lorry, stuff that isn't, you know, fakers.
Talking of CDs, also down route all the time in Bangkok or Hong Kong, there was always somebody came to the crew hotel to sell CDs or DVDs.
Yeah.
And my gosh, you could get whatever you wanted.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah, brilliant.
I love knockoff gear because it's cheaper.
Certainly is.
It's cheaper. I love it. But yeah, I couldn't see you in a tracksuit, but if I could, I know it would be an expensive tracksuit.
It would be probably a copy expensive tracksuit. Yeah. But you've got to have something like that on a long flight. Because if you're sitting, like, say, at London or Hong Kong, London, which sometimes can be 15 hours, you can't sit in your suit in that.
But I just don't, like, I can't wear suits. It doesn't suit me. I look like I'm about to go up in court. Like, I don't suit a suit.
Well, you suit that casual look. Some people say to me that...
Now, that feels like... No, that feels like a backhanded compliment.
No, it's not a backhanded compliment at all. You wear it and you wear it well. If I put casual clothes on, some people say to me, good gracious, you know, and they say, no, you don't really suit that.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, if I'm meeting somebody or especially at work, I have to wear a suit anyway.
Well, I mean, obviously you come from the broadcasting world, I get that. But is that becoming less of a thing? Because
I think it is.
Because sometimes I've noticed, especially with the Ukraine-Russia coverage, a lot of the correspondents are literally wearing like a t-shirt and a fleece.
Yes.
Whereas
Well, of course, if they're if they're in the middle of Ukraine and they're having missiles fired at them, you're not going to be dressed to kill in your suit.
Because if you were reporting on it, you would 1,000% to be like, Julian, there's shell in the place, and you would still go somewhere and change into the suit. I think you'd still.
But no tie.
Right.
Like
right.
I've come away from wearing ties now because I wore them for so. I've got one whole section of my slide robes is all coat hangers with ties on, because if you wore the same tie every night, you know, people would say, is that all he's got?
Yeah.
You know? So I used to buy them again down line off stalls in Bangkok and Hong Kong, where you get them for about £2.50.
Oh, wow.
You know, and people saying, that's a beautiful tie. Where'd you, and you'd have to say, well, it's Christian Dior or whatever. It could be copy Christian Dior.
Yeah, it's spelled with a K.
But think you paid, you know, about 40 or 50 quid.
Well, would you ever have hit Nuts Corner back in the day?
No, the only Nuts Corner I knew was when I was a kid, and that was our airport.
Julian didn't know where that was going for a second. My heart stopped. Nuts Corner was it? I got taken in Nuts Corner once, the Sunday market. And the big things they sold were chip PlayStations and goldfish. Really? I don't know what the demographic was, but you couldn't move for chip PlayStations. Well,
I'm sure the crack was great up there.
Yeah.
Well, I never went up there when it was a market.
Yeah. I think there's something about knockoff gear that it just feels exciting getting it.
It certainly is, yes. And there's a sort of a wee evil twist about it. You think, ooh, you know, I'm getting something here that I shouldn't be getting.
Yeah.
Which is always a nice feeling.
You coming back to Belfast with 600 ties.
Oh, no, thank God, no. Just about 4 in my bag.
Now, you have to... Now, also, can I say, we're obviously inevitably going to talk about travel. I've got a tour coming up that will already have happened, but I want to ask you some things about it. Now, inevitably, when we talk about travel... I think you'll probably say Bangkok again at some point. I'm just flagging again with you. I'm going to giggle when you say that, and that's on me. That's on me.
Well, that's all right.
Okay,
I mean, when I worked at Heathrow, we Air Canada handled Thai International, a daily flight to Delhi and Bangkok.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're doing the gate and everything, they used to say to me, do the boarding. And I used to, you know, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thai International Flight TG915, Boeing 747 non-stop to Bangkok. Will very shortly be available for boarding. Passengers travelling to Bangkok, seated in rows 45 to 50 only, may now board the aircraft.
Yeah, I like that. I like leaning into that kind of thing. And imagine, you know, with your wealth of airline experience, you can guide me on this. So I'm going, it will already have happened by the time this comes out, but I'm going to America on Monday. I'm going Dublin to, where am I going, Dan?
Los Angeles, Boston.
Dublin to Boston.
Aer Lingus.
Aer Lingus.
Well, they're a very good airline.
Okay.
Very good.
It's all booked. I've gone for good car parking. Like, you know, very right good, at the terminal. Because I always go on the red one. Don't worry about it. I always go on the red one. You know, like the furthest away.
Yes.
But I'm parked right there. Now, my mate was telling me about Aaron Butler, friend of the podcast. Are you familiar? You're familiar with Aaron Butler, local actor?
I know the name, yes.
Right. He's infamous. He was telling me about a thing called, and I might have this right, premium services.
Yes.
Right. This is the territory I want to get into, because I fly, like I'm a man of the people, and I fly with, you know, let's call them regular. We would know them as regular people, and I don't like that at all. I like, you know, I've got a taste for the finer things in life, but I don't have the finances or the upbringing for that. So, but what I want to do is I want luxury laid on for me. So my mate tells me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, he goes, there's a thing called premium services. You show up at the airport, someone meets you there at the front doors. You give them your passport. They escort
lead you through, yes,
to a private terminal where you have your own security in this building. You don't handle boarding pass, anything like that. Food, drink, wardrobe, shower, whatever. Then this blew my mind. As your flight's boarding, they drive you across the terminal, across the runway, in a car, and you just like get out and board.
Very good.
Is this true?
It does happen, of course. It certainly happens at Heathrow, and I used to do special boarding for VIPs and everything. One of my duties used to be going down into the VIP area to look after the VIP member and tag their bags and give them their boarding cards and sort them all out, and then eventually come back and take them to the aircraft. But again, at that stage, we weren't driving them in a car to the aircraft. They would come upstairs and walk down an air bridge onto the aircraft, so they didn't need to be taken out in a car.
Do you find that people like that, for the most part, appreciate it? Or
oh, absolutely, yes.
They do?
Yes.
Because I can imagine if you have always done that, or, you know, when the novelty loses it, you know, is there was bound to have been entitlement with people though as well?
A lot of people fully entitled to do it are completely at ease with everything and are very friendly. You get some people that have decided, I'm up myself, and you know, that
would be me.
No, you wouldn't be like this.
I know, my turn.
You wouldn't be, because I mean, some of these people were absolute
bell ends.
Absolutely, that's a lovely.
Have you ever
way
said bell end?
Of course I have, but never to a passenger. You know, when I'm working.
Would you maintain the professionalism if someone was a bell end to you and your staff and was rude and entitled? Would you keep up the same level?
You have to keep up the
them?
facade.
Is that hard though? Because I would struggle with that.
Sometimes it is hard because, you know, you're really down to say, oh, well, you know, but you can't.
Yeah.
You know, you're in full uniform and doing the business, and you've got to be able to carry it off without losing the right. I mean, I've had the most appalling things said to me by passengers, turning really, really nasty.
People lose their minds as soon as they walk into an airport.
And they have an air of entitlement. Like, you know, I can be doing a gate, and there's a lineup of passengers coming through, and you're checking the boarding pass and coming on through. And there's always some person comes to the head of the queue. I spend so many dollars every month with your airline, and I always get upgraded. I want to be upgraded on this flight. And I say, can I see your ticket, please, sir? And, you know, he's traveling on an Apex excursion fare on a seat sale rate. And under no circumstances do we upgrade on that, you know, especially if the aircraft's full.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'll start this thing. I mean, I'm not going to swear on this,
no,
but they do. No, I'm not.
No,
can't. No, if I did the swearing that they did, we'd be blacklisted, I tell you.
We can't be, Julian. That's the beauty of this whole thing.
No, I will never fly this mother airline. And
I think we get it.
You get, and I mean, and I'd say, sir, please do not use such disgusting language in front of my colleague, this young lady. And in fact, this young lady could swear like a trooper and has danced with no knickers on in the tunnel coming from the staff party. But I mean, that's irrelevant.
That's so specific.
The man doesn't know this. You know, and all the passengers in the lineup are going, I know, dreadful. Yeah. And they fall on your side immediately.
Yeah.
You know, mind you, this Marlene who could put you into the middle of next week.
The man doesn't know it, but the listeners do.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, that premium service thing I'm telling you about, we Googled it just purely out of interest.
Is this at Dublin Airport specifically?
Yeah. Do you know how much it would have cost me to do it? What do you think?
I would say about, just for one time only, or I would say about 4,000 or 5,000.
€295. Julian, I spent nearly half that on my parking.
Yes.
If I hadn't have done that, I would have just done this. But could you? But here's the thing, where I'm joking about entitlement. I don't think I could be comfortable with that in terms of people going out of their way that much and having that much of an experience. I think maybe when I was on my honeymoon and we did it as a complete novelty, maybe. But there's just something about that people fussing that there's a level where I don't think I would like it. I think also, like,
I know what you mean.
I like the people watching an airport.
Yes.
I kind of like the buzz of it, you know, and I think I think I just find it weird being on my own in my own terminal sitting. What am I going to do?
Exactly. No, I like the whole buzz
Yeah.
of an international air terminal, especially London Heathrow, like, you know.
But what? So, I want to go first class. I want to go like business class. No, I'm not booked, but I'm cheapest. I'm economy, right? But I want to go on this tour on business class. So, here's what I'm thinking in my head, and you can advise me on this. I think a lot of the time, I think if you act like you're supposed to be somewhere, people just believe you're supposed to be there. So if you're a chancer and you have that look in your face, people see that straight away.
I've seen it all.
Right.
You know, in Terminal 3, I used to see them all pull out all the stops. But I'll tell you, the one way to be fairly lucky in getting an upgrade is to, you know, most people get to the airport now about 2 hours before. You arrive about an hour or 45 minutes before departure.
Fine. With America, though?
Yeah, well, it has to be a bit longer with America, okay. You know, but more or less at the last minute and come up to that. But you have to be dressed, of course. You have to have a suit on. Or
what if I do that and then I don't get upgraded? I'm sitting in economy.
Well,
with
this
a
is it.
three-piece
You see,
suit, like
this is
Conor
the
McGregor.
risk you take. I mean, you could wear a jacket and chinos or something. And, I mean, as long as you look presentable, don't turn up in a T-shirt or cut-off shorts. No, you wouldn't do that. But you know what I mean? You've got to find a fine line.
Do you think I could talk my way into business class?
You may be able to, yes, if you could charm the leaves off the trees.
I think so.
Somebody.
What about here's what I was thinking. You know, when you walk on, I like to go on like not last, but like towards the end, because I don't get that, like, why are we queuing when we've got pre-assigned seats? And if it's a big flight,
I know, no, I don't like that either.
I hate that. It's like if we've got a big flight, big plane, we'll have enough room for our bags anyway. So my seat is right at the back of the plane, right at the back, which gives me, here's what I'm willing to compromise. Minimum, I want my own row. And I was looking at seat selector, and I think there's enough spaces where I could do that. So I booked myself the back row, middle seat of a 3, right? So no one's going to
middle seat.
Yeah, but here's why. No, hear me. Don't give me that look. Listen to this, right? You go on and you select your seat, okay? You select your seat based on a map of what seats
But it's going to be full.
It's not, because it wasn't last week.
At the moment, yes. But when you get to the airport, it'll be bunged. It'll be bunged.
I'm going to be
Mark
stuck.
my words, it's going to be bunged.
But
never pick a middle seat ever.
Sick. But my logic was no one will book either side of me.
Oh, the will. Don't you worry. You'll have some fat
you're scaring me
American
now.
slob sitting, because they are fat.
But if I'm in the middle, that means I get the
No, you
armrests.
don't, because they'll be that big. They'll be spilling over into your space.
Yeah.
And remember, they're not big wide seats in economies.
Yeah.
You know.
Shit.
Always book an aisle seat.
Ah, fuck.
Can change it before you go.
Put the fear of God into me.
No,
I'm just not going on the trip at all now.
No, do go, but get aisle seats.
Right. But here's my logic. I'm at the back of the plane, so I've got a really good vantage point of, is there even a 2? I'm willing to take a 2.
Some of this towards the back of the aircraft,
yes,
and sometimes halfway down the aircraft there are 2 seats.
But as soon as it goes boom boom for boarding complete, is that the tone? Boom,
yes.
Boom. Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't get bomb on the aircraft, but
hopefully
anyway,
not. But ding dong, you know. What would you say? It's more of a.
It would be cabin crew boarding is complete.
Right, that's better.
But you wouldn't get
and then
a
they do,
bing
and then they go boom. Right, like there's always a wee thing.
Yes.
As soon as that happens, that's when. Because if you make that move too early, if you try and get a row of 3 to yourself,
you'll move into it, and somebody then will
cabin
come
crew
along.
hate it. And I get that.
You can shimmy once boarding is complete.
Do you shimmy when boarding's complete?
Generally, I'm in club or first, so I don't need to shimmy. You see, a lot of my trips were with my friend Christine, who's a first class purser. So
What does that mean?
Well, she's in charge of the cabin in first class.
She work for Aer Lingus?
No, she's British Airways.
Shit.
But Airling...
Is she still doing that job?
No, she's just left, actually. But she still travels. And then I've got other friends who are senior crew. So if I travel with them or on the flight, that they're going to get me sorted.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk on last.
Right.
If there's seats in business as I'm walking through it, I'm going to sit on one of them.
No, you won't. You won't.
Why?
You won't be allowed to. You'll be seen because they have a seat chart of who's in where. And if there's an empty seat, they could be holding that for some passenger who's on revenue standby. Full fare passenger standing by for a seat in club.
How can I stand by?
Well, all you can do is at the very end, put on your little boy lost look and look into the eyes of the crew member and say, is there any possibility of me being able to sit in club?
Yeah.
Or, well, you don't ask for first because that's asking for the moon, really.
Right.
But you can try that. If I were you, I would do that to a male cabin crew member because you'll have more chance. As they say in the
I'll do whatever I have to.
As they say in the very best places, you've got to get on and hoor that plane to get a good seat.
Your advice to me is to hoor the plane?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'll hoor the plane.
Yes.
I'll hoor the plane. I'll send you a selfie of me sitting in a club seat.
Yes, well, don't send me a selfie of you in a middle seat in economy. Because
get my new friends to take it.
A great big fat American slob here and somebody with appalling BO in here and you're in the middle seat. Oh, no,
I would hate that.
Oh, vile.
So I'm confident at the least I will get a row of 3 to myself.
No, you'll not get a row of 3.
I will. You'll see.
Well, good. I'll go. I'll hope and pray that that's what you'll get. But fat chance not being disrespectful to you. Because, flights are really filling up again now.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Julian, how's life at the minute in general?
Very good, actually. Thank God I'm in good form. I was very lucky throughout the whole lockdown business. So many people I knew were going down with COVID. But I mean, I was at events and everything where half the place went down with COVID at the end of it and everything.
Right.
Touch wood, I was so lucky I didn't.
You haven't got it. I haven't got it at any point, but then again, we might have, and we just don't know.
Well, we could have had, in our systems. Yeah. But I had 3 vaccinations and umpteen PCR tests everywhere. I was in Gibraltar, I was in Dubai, I was in the south of France and all that. So your PCR tests everywhere, and all of them negative.
What was when it came to travel, what was the strictest place you've been? Did anywhere feel like, God, this isn't normal?
All of them were a pain in the ass coming back to the United Kingdom because of the locator form.
Right.
You had to, it was like sitting at GCE, so annoying. It was a morning's work.
Right, to fill the form in.
And I mean, I'm not terribly technical. I mean, on my last trip to Dubai, British Airways sent me a thing and said, we'd bring a hard copy. Because the whole systems were packing up and there were problems, so they wanted you to carry a hard copy. So I went down to the guys in reception and I said, listen, British Airways have asked me to bring it. Oh, that's no problem. Just set up a PDF. And they may as well ask me Pythagoras theorem. I says, a PDF? Just set one of those up. I said, what is a PDF,
You did your little boy lost face.
Little boy lost, and it worked. And some guy came out of the back and assisted me.
And you got the form sorted?
Absolutely, yes. But, I mean, they are such ludicrous questions.
Yeah.
Which you just think, no, you've got my address. You know where I'm going. I'm not going anywhere before that. I'm just going home.
Yeah.
I'm going to get off the plane and go home to bed, probably.
Yeah. You had when I called you during the week, we were talking about doing the podcast and certain days and times. You were having a disaster with your sofa. I need to know you got that sorted. Because I've been thinking about it as much as you.
Well, God
you sounded like you were trapped.
I'm no good with stuff going on. The basic thing was the old sofa was going to be taken out. It's a big L-shaped sofa in the lounge. It was to be taken away.
What material are we talking?
Leather.
What colour?
Like this, nearly this colour.
Okay.
But it was L-shaped and long, and it had come in no problem. Well, Jesus, could we get it out? We got it.
Who's we? You have a team?
No, my friend Christine and her husband and other members of the family came to assist. And we got one end of it out, but the big chunk, we couldn't get any further. If I went into the spare bedroom, because we were trying to turn it around the corner, and it was standing up on its end like the Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
How big's the sofa?
Oh, absolutely. And I said, what the frig am I going to do? The carpet cleaners were coming the next day to do the whole carpets all the way through. I'm making it sound like the White House, but at my wee apartment, they were doing it all through. And I thought, what am I going to... Anyway, the guys that came to do the... Look, we'll get it out, Julian. Don't you be worrying. Have you got a hacksaw? No. So they went and got a hacksaw and cut it into 3 chunks.
Your sofa?
Yes, and split it apart and carried it out. And you see, I'd arranged with Belfast City Council for them to come to get the sofa.
Oh, the sofa's done?
Yes.
Right,
yes,
okay. I thought you were moving it somewhere.
No, getting a new one, you see. Right. So the people came to remove everything that was left at the gate. But when I then said, we've got the second big chunk out, when can they come to get at? 24th of March, they said. And I thought...
And did they know who you were?
Oh, don't tell me, don't pull me that. No,
Julian, you've got contacts in the city council.
I haven't. I don't know anybody. And I can't say, hello, this is Julian Simmons from UTV.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Yes,
I would never do that. But anyway, to cut a long story short, it was left at the gate in 3 pieces. This is the big chunk that the carpet men shifted. And 2 days later, it had gone. So somebody came and got it. You know,
that's a collector's item, though. Yeah. I think you could auction that off.
Well, anyway,
Julian's sofa.
All that was the sofa was taken out. They did all the carpets right through, and 4 hours later, the new L-shaped leather sofa
have
arrived.
They gone same color?
No, it's a burgundy. It's like a burgundy red. It sounds excruciating, but it's not bright red or anything, and it's much bigger. So I can have a clatter of friends in, you know.
Excellent. What does a party at Julian's look like? Like a gathering round? Like, would you say you're a good host? I mean, I know you're a good host on the TV, but are you a good host in the apartment?
Well, I can't cook.
Right.
I can heat up sausage rolls and things and all that, and give them a cup of soup or something. But if anybody is coming to my house for the evening, I take them out to dinner.
Right.
You know, because I'm not a good cook at all.
Where's your spot? Where's your?
What's it called at Ballyhackamore? Oh God.
Are we talking Mandarin City?
I go there with Carolyn Stewart. She loves Chinese food.
No, that's a showbiz duo. If you're sitting beside you guys in Mandarin City, people would love that.
I'm sure that. Well, I don't know whether they do or not. But
Carolyn Stewart used to DJ in Wine & Co. down the road here.
That's right.
On Friday nights.
That's right. Yes.
Unbelievable musically.
Yeah, she's a very good DJ.
Yeah.
You know,
really good
and great fun to be with.
What does she get in the Chinese?
I know I always have chili prawns and fried rice.
Okay.
And she would maybe go to a beef dish with whatever. But we're that busy talking and eating, you know.
Now, when you're booking now be honest with us, right? When you're making reservations at a restaurant, somewhere you've been regularly, are you getting preferential treatment?
I have no idea.
Julian?
I just say, hello, it's Julian here. Can I book a table for tonight?
Well, then, of course, when you're leaving out your surname, that's preferential treatment. Like, we get preferential treatment at Joxer up the road.
Well, that's good.
We're taking you for lunch after the podcast.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I like to think sometimes I get preferential treatment, but then I just don't.
I'm sure you do. You're getting it and you don't realise.
Well, do you know what do you like Nando's? You ever been to Nando's, Julian?
I've been quite a few times to Nando's.
You like to eat your peri-peri on?
Yes, absolutely. Done all that.
You like a cheeky Nando's?
I do. I like a cheeky Nando's.
Now, the thing that when I realised that I was like, oh, my name carries a bit of weight, and when it comes to something,
Of course it does.
I've been known to book a table in Nando's, which you can't do.
Well, there you
can't
are.
You can't pre-book, but I booked a table before.
I've always gone with friends to Nando's, so I haven't done the pre-arrival reservations or anything.
You could.
But I mean, I don't know whether. But you see, what could happen in Nando's? You ring and you get somebody from overseas.
Yeah,
Who
they know you. Well, if it's someone from Bangkok, they'll know you from the markets. I mean, I get this man a table for two. I've sold him a tie before.
I don't think so. But
what are you working on anything at the minute out of the ordinary? Have you hosted anything fun recently?
Well, probably like yourself, I got a lot of calls during lockdown. Julian, would you do this? Would you consider that? And I say, what date is it? And they say, well, we don't know yet. And I say, well, until I know the date, I don't know. But I mean, there's been a lot of things bubbling under. But one of the most amazing things was I was asked to come and join, or start off, or introduce and start off a dance competition on the Boucher Road. And I thought it would be some scrubbed out hall, a dancing competition. So I sort of rolled up in my car, and they met me, the PR person met me and took me through a gate, 3 football fields. It was like techno dancing and club, club.
Is this
music.
ABA?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a major dance festival.
Well, they wanted me to introduce the whole thing and then introduce a star DJ from Belfast, Swoosh. Have you ever heard of Swoosh?
I don't know any cool
I'd
music.
never heard of Swoosh, I'm afraid.
I don't know cool music.
But anyway, so I introduced him, and he's, of course, he said, I've watched you since I was a baby on TV.
Yeah.
Made me feel like Methuselah, So
he was another DJ.
So I started the thing off, and they were the whole sort of thing. People were very warm and welcoming to me there. I couldn't get over walking through these 3 fields.
People going mad.
Mental, yes, and wanting selfies, Julian.
Yeah,
have a selfie.
Yeah,
and all this, and people had flown in from Amsterdam and everything.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's something I like to watch footage of. But I couldn't go because there's a lot of people like close to you, and I would pretend I know my old school dance music a bit, but I'm not familiar with like modern music really. So, but I like to see it. It looks like a very cool thing.
It is, and then from that, I started to get these bingo loco events.
Yeah.
In the old Telegraph building.
Have you done one already? Or
I've done 3.
Well, what are they? Like, so for anyone who doesn't know, and I haven't been to one, but. They're so popular.
It's dance music, mostly young people. But there's quite a few people my age there.
Yeah.
Enjoying the music, and
it's like wild bingo, isn't it? Like,
absolutely wild.
What do you do at it?
God help the fellow that's actually the host of it, because all he does is gulder into a microphone all night. He must go home with a voice box that's hanging just hanging. And so generally what I have done, there was a time machine on the stage, the way there is, and so that there'd be this explosion, and I step out of the time machine, and somebody has picked 3 or 4 people to come out from the audience up onto the stage and dance, and I have to pick a winner, which is always a bit of a responsibility, and they're all different. There was one absolutely beautiful girl, I remember, and she couldn't dance to save her life, but she was dressed to kill. She was a beautiful girl.
Again, backhand the compliment.
Yeah, and then
you can't dance, but your outfit's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one guy who came up with 2 rubber dicks, and is revolving the rubber dicks, And I thought, do I remark on these rubber dicks, or do I just accept that they're there and say nothing about it?
I didn't expect you to say rubber dicks that many times.
Well, do you not like the word?
No, I do. I love it. I think it's a great word. But yeah.
So
dildo,
I suppose, if you wanted to be really technical, or dildo, as they say here. She was
Dildo or
awful. She had a
dildo?
big dildo in her bedside drawer and all this. So
Were his massive or were the two
massive dicks? Oh, like I'm talking 15-inch dicks. Like he was revolving them like propellers, And you're standing there and you think,
Did you get changed into your tracksuit?
No. So you're standing there and I'm thinking, now do I mention the dicks? Or do I just accept that they're here and ignore them?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your girl who can't dance is up jigging about. And then there was another one who was like oh God, she was hard looking, and she wasn't particularly beautiful. But by God, did she move her bum and everything. She was gyrating down the stage. And the fella with the two dicks was going... I thought, what do I do here? So I said to the guy, look, I said to the DJ, I can't pick a winner here. There's 4 people. I'll pick 2. I'll
two
pick,
dicks.
Well, so I did. I picked the wee girl who bodged about, and the fella with the 2 dicks. Well, I had to pick him because the dicks were in everybody's faces, like, because you couldn't. And at least he could sort of dance and do his stuff with the dicks as well,
So you've done a few more of those events?
I've done 3 of those. Now there was only one with 2 dicks.
Yeah.
But they're quite entertaining to do, and it's a very quick gig.
Right. Yeah. Where did you come from in the time machine?
Well, that wasn't gone into. There was just the explosion, and the door opened, and out I came.
Right.
And the guys going, and it's Julian from the television and all. And they're all getting on and coming up to the stage, like, hello, how are you? God love them.
What do you prefer? A live crowd, or do you prefer like a piece to camera, like presenting? I
prefer a live crowd because you get the reaction immediately if you say something that is in any way amusing.
Did you do anything like back in the day, like a road show type thing or a live
Lots
broadcast
of times
that went? But did you do any that was a complete shit show?
I've been at stuff that was very badly organised, and you more or less have to step in and start arranging it yourself, and then you look like such a so-and-so.
I know what you mean, but you can, if someone's like never run an event before and it's gone terribly, you can, if you've done a few events, you can definitely be like, you should definitely do this or do that. I know what you mean. It's hard to
It's like when you arrive to do a fashion show somewhere and the first models are out, the 4 girls, they're out in the first, and they're also in the second round as well. So how are they going to get changed in the time? And you say, well, how is Arlene and Loretta going to get their gear changed to be out? And well, you could maybe fill a wee bit, Julian.
Ah, right.
I say, oh, right, you want me to fill there?
It's just doubled.
You can't do that at the time.
Oh, you can.
But you know,
blackmail. You can say it and then play the bluff and then the cap.
And then I would say, now listen, girls and fellas, if I start filling to fill a gap and I'm telling a joke, do not come out, please, until the punchline is delivered. Because you're telling a joke and you don't get the punchline because Arlene's back out doing all this and turning and
Foster?
Yeah. Well, no, not Arlene Foster. She's a very nice lady now. Don't.
You know what? I saw her speak on something not that long ago.
GB News, was it?
Maybe, but I don't doubt it. Like we talked about politicians last time you were on, and I don't doubt that most politicians are fairly normal, pleasant people. But it's
absolutely.
It's just hard not to take their politics first as opposed to their personality, if that makes sense.
I know exactly what you mean. I would agree with you.
Yeah, but I have no doubt that. Yeah, I suppose if you're in that game, you do have to be a people person. You do have to be fairly. I'd have her on the podcast. I don't think she'd do it, but I'd have her on the podcast.
she'd be brilliant, actually.
Yeah. I think I like speaking to people that you don't see in this kind of environment normally, and just over a cup of tea.
And she's very down to earth. Actually, one of my trips I was coming back from, and I was getting on the London Belfast. I was just walking down, and I heard Julian, and I turned around. It's Arlene Foster. I says, "Oh my goodness!" And of course, this was just after she'd left politics.
Okay.
And I said, "I'm so glad to see you." And I said, "How are you feeling and everything?" And she said, "I'm feeling brilliant now."
Well, it's probably like once that pressure is taken off. I don't know why. Like, why would you get into politics?
Horrendous.
Why would you get into
You'd
politics?
need nerves of steel.
Would you, if they needed you?
No. They wouldn't ever need me.
You in the Prada tracksuit?
Oh, yeah, Prada tracksuit. Blocking the roads.
Have you picked up any hobbies recently or anything?
Well, during lockdown, I mean, you know what you damn well do in lockdown. I reverted
banana bread.
What I did when I was in hospital having my heart operation 11 years ago. Jigsaws. I got two 1,000-piece jigsaws. This is between everybody's phoning everybody at home and all, talking away. And I did these two 1,000-piece jigsaws. It took me the guts.
What was the...
Of course they were aircraft, weren't they?
Okay.
The whole thing was travel. But I tell you this, I did both. They took me about 6 weeks. And I never want to see another jigsaw.
I wouldn't have
again.
the patience for it. I don't think I'd have the attention span to do a big jigsaw.
I in hospital I quite enjoyed it because it really took me out of myself, and I was spread it all over my bed and everything, and quite enjoyed all that. But I'd never want to see another jigsaw again after that.
And is the health good? Because we talked last time you were on the podcast, we talked about your heart and all the surgery.
Yes, well, you see, that was 11, 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's as if it never happened. And I have to say, I hope I'm not tempting fate, but for the last couple of years, I felt really on top form.
Yeah.
Which is and able to deal with anything.
Did you have to change anything about your lifestyle after that, and have you kept it up?
Well, as you probably would appreciate, after a quadruple heart bypass, you have tests nearly every fortnight for about a couple of months. Right. And you're going back up to the hospital. And I said to one of the nurses one day, "See, I want to be able to get back to the gym soon." I said, "Oh, Julian, don't think about the gym at the moment. You could burst that whole operation." Well, I still feel that I could burst this whole operation. So I haven't been going to the gym. Right. And that used to be a big part of my life.
Yeah. I read Bob Mortimer's book over Christmas, from Shooting Stars.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of his. And he talked about having major heart surgery, and he said he was quite nervous for it, a bit scared.
Oh, I was sure I was going to die.
But he said after it, he got really upset. They
warned me that you could, and you can feel very emotional and everything. Touch wood. Thank goodness I didn't get any of that.
But what, for the people that do, what do you think that is because they feel like they've got a second chance of life?
I think you do feel you have got a second chance of living. I mean, I have to say, in the Ulster Hospital, they were absolutely fabulous to me. Sister Tanya and Dr. Donnelly and everything. Because I was in hospital for 2 months before they did anything. I had, surgeons coming to see me and decisions made about what treatment they were going to do. And then the consultant came and saw me, and he said, "No, Julian, I'm going to do this." He says, "But I'm going to do it after my holiday. In the meantime, you're staying here."
Now, you have enough contacts in the travel industry. Surely you could have cancelled this flight.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Julian, you could.
He wasn't flying anyway. He had a yacht, and he was taking it all around the north of Scotland. So I have no power over yachts, darling. No power over yachts. But so I stayed in hospital while he went on his holiday, and he came back from the trip. And 3 days after that, I was moved to the Royal and done.
Right.
And that was quite. But by that stage, Sister Tanya and all had got me that quadruple heart to a penny.
Yeah.
They're doing about 3 of those a day, no problem. So when I did go for it, I was not at all nervous. I was, well, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
You know, that's...
Have you always been like that, do you think?
No. I was always quite a squeamish person, and I'd never been in hospital before. And I don't mind injections. I don't like blood tests. I hate blood tests, you know.
Because, well, one thing, like, for my infusion, I have Crohn's disease, I get infusions.
Oh, yes.
And every couple of months you get blood tests done just to make sure everything's okay. And it's the not knowing straight away. Like, I know there's nothing wrong, but like,
exactly,
weeks down the line before you would find out if anything's up. I definitely think I changed my mindset to being ill or health or that kind. Like, I would always have been very worried about something ever happening to me, and now I'm more like, well, you're not going to be able to.
Now you've got a
change
child. I think sometimes when people have children, you worry more about something happening to you because of the child. You know, I mean,
I don't know. I think subconsciously I make sure I do everything I can to stay fit and healthy and that kind of thing. But that's more in the background. Like, I'm not consciously... I think the last person I worry about at the minute's myself, you know? Unless I'm flying, in which case that's the first person I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of only myself and how can I get club.
Oh.
You know? But yeah, I think it's weird. Yeah, having a kid definitely has... change me in many ways, but
it would definitely change you.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you'd feel I would feel very responsible from the word go.
Yeah,
not that it'll ever be happening to me, but I friends that I know that have had babies.
Yeah,
and you can see there's a change comes over them.
Yeah,
they become more responsible people and everything.
Yeah,
not Egypts anymore.
Oh, I'm definitely still in Egypt.
No,
like. Yeah, like, my son's in Egypt too, though, so it kind of balances itself out, you know?
You've got to look after yourself and make sure that you're in top form when you're looking after a child. You've got to be and be in control of what you're doing. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? You know, that feeling where...
Like,
I was...
And you look like seeing an alien?
I was... No, it's a spiritual thing.
Oh, yeah.
I once was doing this gig in Liverpool, and I ran over 2 days before to go through it all and to get it all set up. And I flew on the first flight from Belfast, no breakfast, rush all around Liverpool. And all of a sudden, I was in this long white passage with a brilliant light shining from the end of it. And Dusty Springfield was beckoning to me with the most beautiful smile. I'd passed out in the Mersey Tunnel with a drag act, you know.
Sorry. What?
It was the most peculiar...
You fainted? Because you rushed so much?
I was out fainting, no food, lack of food. So I always have a breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. Who was the drag act?
Somebody that was going to be part of the show. But as far as I was concerned, it was Dusty Springfield.
I've never had anything like that. I've had, only with stand-up, I've had like an out-of-body thing where sometimes I feel like I'm watching myself. I'm on stage and I'm talking.
I know that feeling,
but I feel like I'm then watching myself.
Yes.
But I remember my granny once saying when she wasn't well and she was in hospital, she said, you know, you sort of maybe hallucinate a bit, maybe dehydration, whatever. She said that she pictured like a lake and a relative who had died years and years ago was in the water, like, you know, waving her to come in. But her dad, who had passed away decades before that, was on the other side being like shaking his head saying like don't get in that water. And I think sometimes you hear something like that from a person and you know, you're like, I think you've not made that up, but you're like, you know, but when it's someone who's always been honest with someone that you know doesn't lie about anything like that, that's powerful when you hear. And it could have just been a dream, but then there could be more to it.
There could be more to it, yes, definitely.
And the idea of like mortality and your life flashing before your eyes and that kind of thing, out of body experiences, I think that is stuff that just can't be explained. Like, there's loads I'm skeptical about and don't believe in, but stuff like that
it's so funny the way it happens, you know, when you're in the middle of organising and rushing around the place, and all of a sudden you're not there and you're in this long white passage.
Yeah,
you know, it just passed right out, obviously.
If we were told like, look, this is the last day on earth for everyone, but only you knew and you weren't allowed to tell anyone else, what would you do? Like, where would you eat and stuff? Breakfast?
Yeah, breakfast is one of my favourite meals.
Same.
You know, full breakfast.
You have a full breakfast that day, full cooked breakfast?
Yes.
Fry, like a fry or like a fancier kind of?
No, it would be egg and bacon and fried potatoes and all that. You know, I do like. But breakfast I would have watermelon, cereal, and then the cooked breakfast.
That's a guy who's travelled a lot.
And then croissants.
That's a continental
and toast.
breakfast.
Sort of, really, but it's not. You know, I do like watermelon.
Yeah,
but I shouldn't be.
That's a showbiz exclusive.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But there's more sugar in watermelon than you think, because I've been told I shouldn't be having so much watermelon.
How much are you having? Have you got a problem?
No.
You got a watermelon problem?
No,
that is a showbiz
I'm
story.
diabetic, so I shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that about you.
Yes, well, I am. Yeah, not on injections, but medication.
Okay. Front page of the Sunday World this Sunday is Simmons watermelon problem.
Watermelon problem. I do love watermelon, but I'm not allowed it.
I prefer cantaloupe.
Do you? Well, there you are.
Any day of the week.
That's classy now. That's classy. Cantaloupe.
I'll take a watermelon if you've got it.
No, I haven't got one with me. No.
You probably do. You're lying about it inside the blazer. Yeah, I think if it was last day, everyone's having a cooked breakfast. For sure. I'm going Nando's for lunch.
29th of April,
2000. The last day.
29th of April in 2029, I believe. Apophis is coming, and it was supposed to miss us by so many miles.
Apophis? Is this another act you're introducing at AVA Festival?
No, an asteroid. An asteroid.
Shit, right.
And it's coming on the 29th of April, 2029. And it was due to miss us, but now there's a whole theory that it's going to be a direct hit.
Right.
So enjoy everything while you can.
They always say that sort of thing, though.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to do.
Be all right. Armagh Planetarium sorted out because they've got the telescope.
Yeah, they're brilliant, yes. I did a gig in there for U105, or recorded stuff in there, and it's fabulous. All the stuff.
I haven't been since I was a kid.
I hadn't been since I was a kid, and it's like being in some exhibition in America.
Yeah.
That sort of feel about it.
U105.
Oh, yes.
It's a good jingle.
Absolutely. You should record that, and it could use you.
Let me ask you about like, you know, plans or things like what would you like to do at the minute? Also say you were, you know, you're doing one series of something now. You're going to travel?
Obviously travel, yes.
Would you like to meet like tribes that haven't been contacted by humans before?
I would have a go at that, yes. You know,
and
as long as I have an interpreter with me.
No, just you.
Just me.
Yeah.
Like Michael Palin does.
Yeah.
You know, he's very good at that, having long conversations with people. He hasn't got a clue what they're saying, and they don't have a clue what he's saying.
Would you be comfortable, like, say, like we drop you into the Amazon on a chopper? Like, would you be okay, like 6-7 days, just with like surviving, like doing survivalist type stuff?
Not really rough, no toilet survival.
No, because here's the thing. I think they'd say to you to wear like the Ray Mears, Bear Grylls type clothes. I think you'd still be running about the Amazon in a nice suit. A nice suit.
Oh, the sweat would be lashing off me.
Yeah.
Absolutely lashing.
Yeah.
No. I don't know whether I would like... I would, if it was sort of organised a bit, and there was a camera crew and a producer and a nice tent and everything, and a lovely portable toilet that I could go into and let
That's
rip.
all you want.
Because all the food in the Amazon jungle, oh gosh, it would go through you.
Yeah,
like
there's
a
no
white
Nando's.
tornado. No Nando's. No. Yeah. It would be all berries and everything. Oh.
I mean, I think we can make this series happen. Julian, I'm excited for us to go for lunch now. I think it's going to be fun.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, where we're going, up the road?
We're going to go to Jockster up the road.
Very nice.
Good spot. We like to support local.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, but I think you'll like it. I think it's a bit of
I will like it.
It's up market.
And after all, we're having lunch in Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah.
What more could a body ask?
Although you should have given me a heads up about your sunglasses, because I'm going to wear mine, but they pale in comparison to yours.
Well, my sunglasses, because I had my eyes done about 3 or 4 years ago, that I don't have to ever have glasses ever now. I got brand new lenses put in my eyes, but my eyes are sensitive.
Put in?
Yes, you know, they cut your real lens out and put in a bionic lens. was done by Cathedral Optical. And they did a very good job, because you know when
you got a promo code.
No, you know when you're hosting something and you've glasses on, reading the script, and glasses off to meet the person who's won the award, having a photograph, and back, and if you ever leave home without the glasses, you are absolutely lost.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So now I don't have to worry about any of that.
Excellent.
That is really good. That's why. But your glasses are a bit sensitive, even on a day when there's a glare. I don't want to be walking around like that all the time. So I put those glasses on. It covers a multitude, covers most of my face. Which I like.
Julian, I appreciate coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been very nice.
People loved the first episode. I know they'll love this, and we appreciate your time.
Well, very nice to be with you as ever.
Thank you very much. Let's have lunch.
Absolutely, I'm there.